Hello, my friends. Welcome in. It's time for the semi-regular update of what we're going to do with content, what my plans are with the channel moving forward, and really just a massive thanks to all of you. If I'm honest, FM21 was kind of a rough year, both from a content standpoint, my ability to produce content standpoint, and just general things going on with life. I'm sure you understand pandemic stresses, those types of things. And I don't really want to dwell on that too much. I might go into it a little bit as we go through this video because it is going to be a bit of a ramble, but what's in the past is in the past, and I'm really focusing on what I can do moving forward to make good content and try and earn an income on the internet. So despite that inconsistency where I didn't put out content regularly and I pushed series back and stuff like that, and the stress that makes you feel as a content creator, which is weird because it's like, no one is sitting there going like, hey man, why haven't you put out another video, right? Like that doesn't happen, but you have this fear where you're like, I'm gonna lose my entire audience. It's like this weird thing as a content creator. Despite that inconsistency, you all have been incredible. And I think my favorite thing, I've been making content now since Football Manager 2017, and my goodness, please don't go back and watch those videos because they're painful. But my favorite thing, I think, has been the community. Not just the Football Manager community, but what's I would call the GHG community. Like, it's a weird thing. We're all parts of different communities online. But we have a Discord. The link is in the description. We have all kinds of great chats that I guess I wasn't really expecting when I started a Discord, right? So, like, there really has this community feel. And I feel like I have friends now all over the world, which is weird. Like, not something that I expected when I went, yeah, I think I can make Football Manager videos. So I think that's really awesome. So I just want to say thanks. And that's true for literally every single person in the community, whether you're in the Discord or not, whether you leave a comment or not, whether you like, subscribe, and share or not. I really do mean that. There's, I don't know. I feel like there's a couple different ways you can make content on the internet if you're trying to earn an income like I am. And there's like your doing what the algorithm and the clickbait and all that type of stuff want, and then there's the like doing what you like and trying not to, I don't know, trying to stay true to yourself. And I have leaned heavily on Loki Doki as an example. Like, he has Patreon support, he has people that subscribe to him on Twitch, but like he doesn't put up any content behind paywalls or like, hey, only my best subscribers or my most expensive subscribers get, you know, this special thing. And that really resonates with me because, again, you know, he said this before and I mimic it, right? It's like there could be some, I don't know, 16-year-old out there that loves your content but just doesn't have the, you know, income or the ability to do anything to help you financially other than, as if that's not enough, to watch your videos. So I do want to say that at the front because I'm going to talk about some of my Patreon supporters and YouTube members, and I have a big box sitting on my desk right here that someone sent me, which is crazy. But it really is a true thing. Like, I would much rather have a real community of people all over the world like we do in the Discord, and we can chat and hang out and watch 24 hours of Le Mans and F1 races and Liverpool matches and international matches and have really interesting discussions than to all of a sudden be hitting all of my income targets but not have that. It's like you kind of want the best of both worlds, but like I'd rather take the community and work on growing from there. So thanks for all of your support. And sometimes honestly it doesn't feel like enough. Like if you're going with the model of like, I don't give you extra content for supporting me financially, you know, sometimes it feels like saying thank you isn't enough, because there are some people that are about to hit, if they stay with us this month in November, 4 years of supporting me on Patreon. The likes of Josh Doler, Chris Carpenter, there's some others, but like the folks that pop up on the end screens, I don't know why I just did this. It's not like I'm going to have the end screen pop up, or am I? But those names that pop up there, it just seems like it just seems like I'm not doing enough to say thanks. Because I'm not giving them anything, but I hope that continuing my content and maybe putting a smile on their faces is enough, and it really does mean a lot. My friends, I feel guilty as well, because I've had this box that's in the thumbnail sitting in my office for like 2 weeks. Maybe even more than 2 weeks. It has been a really rough season of life in my life, in my marriage. We are essentially having a massive disagreement with my in-laws, who happen to live like 6 minutes from us and used to see my kids multiple times a week. And as you can imagine, that's caused a lot of stress in my life. My wife also, you know, the whole thing with this channel, if you're not familiar, is in the United States. We don't believe in actually supporting our citizens if they get disabled, unless they, you know, they're good, hardworking Americans, right? So, like, disability insurance is not a thing for stay-at-home moms, and my wife is a stay-at-home mom and homeschools our kids. And so, the only option you have to provide that disability insurance is Social Security disability, which is essentially a government program. But to qualify for that, you have to have work credits, which means essentially at this point you have to earn $6,000 a year over a 10-year period. You have to work $6,000 worth of income for 5 of the 10 years, and it's a rolling 10-year period. So like, my wife used to be a teacher, and then because daycare and such is so expensive that she was going to make like $200 a month while also working, right? It just didn't make sense. So like, we pulled our kids out of daycare and decided to homeschool them, because it's like, why would she go work more than 160 hours a month to net after daycare cost $200, right? And so she had some work credits stored up, but since she's not been working, right, those work credits are rolling off, and she hasn't been producing new ones. Well, she found a new gig where she was teaching English online to kids overseas. And while it wasn't fantastic, it also allowed her to set her own hours. She could get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning before our kids were awake to do what she needed to do. And she was making enough money to hit that $6,000 mark, which is fantastic. Well, in that country, they shut down companies' ability to hire foreign teachers. They only want to hire local teachers, which makes no sense, because you'd think you would want to hire people who speak English as a first language than not. But long story short, that's gone away. And so not only have we had this like emotional, obviously devastatingly emotional situation with my in-laws, but the rug is kind of gotten pulled out from underneath her from an income standpoint. And that's not been fun. So like, we've just been dealing with all that. And then it's like, oh no, FM22 is coming. I got to get content ready. I got to get the, you know, my beta save ready and all that kind of stuff. So this package that one of the most generous members of our community that lives in Sweden took time to duct tape the absolute garbage out of, which was awesome, and sent to me, has been sitting on the floor. And I can't do anything about that other than to say I really appreciate it, Pekka, and I'm sorry that it took this long to open it. I have no idea what's inside. Let's find out. All right, move my mic back here so I can get it going here. I mean, like, no joke, duct tape all over the place. And he did let me know it wasn't anything perishable, so it's not like I'm sitting here, you know, with rotten Swedish food. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, I just got emotional. That's awesome, man. It's essentially a care package, which is, oh man, that's so generous. I'm not gonna read the whole note. Essentially, it's a, you know, a care package and then a list of apparently a bunch of candy, and snacks, and a kit for I'm gonna read this here. It's from a local club that when I did, I think, a manager experiment that Pekka actually managed, but it was I guess local to him. That is, oh man. And then, I mean, I am kind of overwhelmed right now, to be honest with you. I mean, You're like, what's in the box? What's in the box? What is that, Seven? The movie Seven? Kex chocolate. Okay, Kex chocolate, milk chocolate and thin wafers. Yummy. Estrella Grill chips. He said this was the Mrs.'s contribution. She loves these. They have salt and onion taste. I'm not gonna show you, I guess, every single thing. There's some coffee. Coffee? Standard Swedish coffee, or at least the brand we use in this household. Will be fun to hear your opinion on regular Swedish coffee compared to American. Okay, so anybody know anything about this coffee company? Zoegas Mollberg's Blandning. Haribo. I've heard of Haribo, but I don't know about the rings. I mean, it's again, I'm not gonna go through every single one of these. He wasn't kidding when he said they weren't perishable, right? Candy that lasts forever. Coffee lasts forever. That wasn't, you know, I honestly didn't know what to expect. That's a lot. So I'm, you know, I'll if you're seeing this, it's because Pekka said it was okay to put this in the video. I'd rather have that and figure out the rest of the financial stuff with my family some other way. Because it's like the classic, like, somebody took time, and his missus took time to pick out stuff and to throw it in a box, package it up nicely, not throw it, to package it up nicely, duct tape the heck out of it, ship it from Sweden to America through customs to my P.O. box. And so that means a ton. I do plan to talk about what I'm going to be doing this year and some ideas that I have. I just need to, like, gather myself for a second. Okay, so let's talk about this year. First off, let's talk about some goals. I'm really hoping I put something behind here. I left this behind me non-filtered to the blue screen so I could filter it out in my editing software, but I have no idea what I put behind me at this point. So my goal for this next calendar year, really January to December, is my business needs to earn $12,000 in profit. Now, the good news is, from a YouTube standpoint, like, my costs are essentially pretty low, right? It's not like I'm making 15% margin because I buy something and turn it into a box and sell it to somebody, right? Because my wife and I share the business 50-50. Now, there's some other things that we can do, reselling stuff on eBay and the like, but the goal is to get to $12,000 in profit. Now, I've not come close to that in the entire time I've been doing YouTube, but I also haven't been very consistent either. So, as part of that, I want to get to 10,000 subscribers by September 30th of 2022 by being consistent and changing up some of the content that I produce on YouTube. I've just kind of picked 10,000 subscribers out of the air. I'm currently at about 6,030, give or take. Is about one or two added and subtracted every day. And I understand, to get to that 10,000 subscribers, I've got to change up some of my content. With that, I'd like to get back to over $300 a month in monthly Patreon and YouTube memberships. We got close at one point. I was up to like 280, 290. It's down to about 165 right now. And also, can I just say I'm really frustrated with Patreon? Like, I understand it's the internet and it's a super complicated business that they run. It sounds pretty simple. Hey, we process payments so that content creators can get paid. And then, like, every month it seems like they change something. Hey, we've added VAT. Hey, we've added sales tax in these specific states. And it's like, make sure you tell your patrons. And it's like, every time I can't tell my patrons every month, hey, something is changing and going to cost you 7% more or whatever. And so people have dropped off. And that's, again, probably because I've been inconsistent, or their lives have changed because it's a pandemic. So again, I understand, but I'm trying to, like, if I can get that back up to $300 a month, that's $3,600 a year, which is a big chunk of that $12,000, right? And then you add in, you know, if I could get back to $50 or $100 a month in, you know, Google ads from the ads playing on YouTube, you know, it starts getting close to half of the $12,000 mark, which would really help the business. But I understand, again, it's so hard talking about this because it sounds like I'm getting out my tiny little violin and complaining. I live a good life. I just have business goals that I'm trying to achieve. And so this isn't trying to guilt trip you into giving me anything. Like, I'd much rather you send me a care package. That really has warmed my soul today. But that's kind of my business goals. I'm trying to treat my channel more like a business this year. That kind of was the original idea, but it kind of got off the rails with the pandemic, which I think most people can understand because pandemic. But I think in order to get to the number of views I want, the subscribers, all that type of thing, I don't think I can just do Let's Play on FM22. I think the Football Manager community has moved more towards live streaming and towards versus mode, which is fine. It's just not my favorite thing. I'll pop in every once in a while. Like, I've been in, I was invited last year to a couple things with some of the non, 50,000 plus subscriber channels, let's be honest. And that was fun, but like, that's not my, I don't know enough, I think, about football and being able to think about all the footballers in Europe to do an all Europe draft and like to draft a team and, be entertaining doing it. I don't have enough time personally. I have a career and 2 kids, and oh, by the way, I'm married, like not necessarily in that order, right? Probably should fix that. Edit. But I don't have time to, especially with a good chunk of the audience being, UK or Europe hours, I don't have time on like a Saturday to stream all day. I'm trying to spend that time with my family. And so my content needs to be developed in a time frame that works for me, which is going to be more recording videos and putting them up on YouTube. So that being said, I feel like I need to adjust what I'm putting up on YouTube to garner more views, subscribers, audience, etc., etc. This year we grew a garden, and I've thought heavily about doing a gardening channel. And in general, I'm thinking about content that's more evergreen, is what they call it, right? Where it's not like, it's like all the stuff I did in FM21 and 20 and 19 and 18 and all that kind of stuff is great, but how many people go back and watch an FM19 series? Very few. Now, I've had people comment on my Aaron Go Bra Building a Nation series with Ireland, which was FM20, maybe FM19. I can't remember. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not like, you're not all gonna get thousands of views on that, right? It's like, that's more of a very, very, very niche thing. And so I thought about doing stuff that's more evergreen or more current events, like mixing in some trending topics or talking, I used to talk about US soccer. I'll be honest with you, I stopped talking about US soccer because it was depressing. And the pandemic and being stuck at home and not being able to travel was depressing enough. And then to all of a sudden be talking about how, oh, we've hired Greg Berhalter and he's, the brother of the CEO or COO or whoever it was at the time. Like, it was just like, I don't think I can handle that mentally. But maybe I get back to that as we ramp up, in the octagonal for World Cup 2022. I've talked, you've heard me talk about doing D&D miniature painting, which I still have yet to do. And it's one of those things I think I just need to do it. And maybe that would be more of a live stream thing that I could do once or twice, or maybe I'm not sure how I would do it. I would love to use the Panasonic camera I have and get a capture card to where I could get like a macro lens to be able to show, like if I grab a miniature here, I just have some miniatures sitting on my desk. Of course I do. So like, you see how small that is? Like, well, if I hold that up, you might be able to see it, I guess, with my webcam. But it would be awesome if I had a second view where like you could see what I was working on and painting, where it wasn't just me sitting here going, hey guys, right? So maybe I just set up that camera and I record separately and then put it up on screen. But I've got an interest in that. And I think that's more evergreen content. Now, then you get into the problems of, will the YouTube algorithm send a gaming Football Manager channel viewers for D&D miniature painting? And when they get here, will they be confused? Because they'll be like, well, it's like, all your other videos don't have anything to do with that. But I kind of go like, I might as well try it. I've done a little of that of Fantasy Premier League, which has been fun. So maybe a little bit of that. I need to get my FM experiments rolling much faster, so that's the goal. I'm actually going to be taking the Friday after FM22 comes out off to work on the channel, to work on videos, to work on experiments, to start getting stuff out faster. I thought about maybe like a beginner's guide for FM22 because I think it's complicated. And as you see, if you've been watching the beta series, you'll note that I still don't know where some of the things are with scouting and like international. So like if I'm struggling with that, I have to think a brand new player is like, I don't know what's happening. So would it be helpful to have like a beginner's guide series? Because that would be, again, more evergreen content, because there might be some minor changes between FM22 and 23 and 24, whatever. But like if you just titled it Football Manager Beginner's Guide, would that be something viewers could click on, right? I thought about doing commentary on like general footballing topics. I got some feedback from the Discord community that like, hey, you when I did I'm about to sneeze. Oh, much better. When I did the U.S. men's national team stuff, I tend to be, I can't remember what the exact phrasing that the folks that were discussing this with me in the Discord said, but it's like level-headed, right? Like balanced, trying to see multiple sides to an issue. Essentially the opposite of Arsenal fan TV, right? So do I do something like that where that becomes like a regular, 1 day a week piece of content that could bring more viewers in, and then maybe I can get some interaction and talk to some other channels, right? There's all this talk in YouTube about collaboration to where it's essentially you're sharing audiences. So is that something that I could do? The thing I'm not interested in doing is like clickbait, fake reaction type videos, and I think that is probably my biggest struggle emotionally. Like I don't know, in my heart with YouTube is like I spent $60 this past month on TubeBuddy, which is essentially gives you keyword research and thoughts and ideas and to help your channel get better. So it's a year-long thing. I got a big discount on it and whatever. But one of the things they recommend on all their thumbnails is, and I've seen this on some like threads on Twitter from like people who do consulting on YouTube, is you want a human face and like 6 or less words, with an interesting image for your thumbnails. And I think you've seen that work in the Football Manager community, and I'm not knocking it. Again, it sounds like a criticism to say, well, look what they're doing and they're being super successful. Like I'm not trying to be like that. It just, I don't get joy as a content creator going and that being the thumbnail on every thumbnail, right? I'm more interested in narrative and storytelling, which is why I tend to not use my face a lot on my thumbnails. But again, if you look at YouTube as a whole, like if you go look at YouTube thumbnails, there's a lot of human faces, less words. So I need to work on that. I understand that. So, but with that being said, I don't want to go down the football commentary and say like, oh, so-and-so should be fired. And like the thumbnail is me going every single time. So I'm not trying to go down that path. So I guess all that to say, my friends, 1, thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. You have no idea how much comments and community mean to a content creator like me. Like, again, I am choked up about the package that's sitting next to me right now from Pekka in Sweden. So take this as not just for me. Like, leave comments and all that kind of stuff for the content creators that you like as well, outside of my channel. 2, I'm going to be mixing up content, and I hope you're here for it. And I definitely want to hear from you all, any of the ideas that I rattled off, whether it's getting back to U.S. soccer. I'm not going to do gardening on this channel. That would be a separate channel. I understand that. Getting back to U.S. Soccer commentary, D&D miniature painting, Fantasy Premier League, experiments, a beginner's guide, general football commentary. Are those of interest to you? If so, which ones? All of them? Hey man, just do it, figure it out. I want to get your thoughts on there. And I, again, want to give an update that those are my goals for this year, is to get, to 10,000 subscribers by September of next year, the end of September next year, when FM23 is getting ready to come out. And those are the things I'm planning on doing to get there. So, I hope you're well. I hope we can all get back to a point where football stadiums can be full and we can travel easily. I would one day love to go on like a tour of Europe with my family and come see some of you, or Canada. Hey Kate, how you doing? And just do stuff like that. And so maybe 2022 will be better for all of us, not just from a channel standpoint, but from a life standpoint. I greatly appreciate your viewership. I hope you're well. We'll see you next time. Bye bye. Actually, I think what I have put back here is one of my favorite places on earth. This is the Blue Ridge Parkway. If I can find an image of the Blue Ridge Parkway that is copyright free, I will put it up there. And yes, I know I just said that I'm not typically the guy that puts my face up on thumbnails, and this one I did. I intentionally took that picture. But I think if you look at my channel in general, yeah, need to think about that. And also, you know, my wife and I've talked about her being more involved with like doing keyword research, or, you know, I'm thinking about doing a series where it's going back all the way to FM17 to now and looking at some of the main players for like the U.S. Men's National Team and see how their attributes have changed. If you think that would be interesting, but like doing stuff like that to where she can get more involved, and maybe she can, hey, there's Ben Foster gave his tickets away to a Liverpool fan that's a friend of his content creator, UFC guy. He's trying to, you know, do his own thing on his own YouTube channel, and he sat in the home end at a Watford game and got kicked out, and it was like a big kerfuffle. You should do a video on that, like getting her more involved where it's not just me running everything. So that's also something that we're thinking about.